Have you ever wondered what a simple $5,000 dividend portfolio could realistically pay you every month? Like, not the crazy examples you see online where someone throws around impossible numbers or claims they're living entirely off dividends after investing the price of an old scooter. I'm talking realistic, beginner-friendly, and based on the kinds of stocks real people actually buy. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be shocked at how far even a small portfolio can go once you see how the math breaks down. Now, before we go all the way in, let me ask you something. If you took $5,000 right now, like literally right this second, would you put it into a dividend portfolio that paid you every single month? Or would you rather try your luck investing in growth stocks and hope they explode later? Because that one decision literally separates people who build passive income step by step from the people who never get started because they think they need a huge amount of money first. And I'm telling you right now, you do not need $50,000. You don't need a big salary, and you definitely don't need to be a financial wizard. You only need to understand how dividend yields work, how payout schedules are structured, and what combination of stocks gives you the highest stability. That's it. So here's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to build a $5,000 dividend portfolio from scratch, using real-world companies that pay real dividends. I'm going to break down precisely how much each investment pays per share, how much monthly income you'd get, what kind of yield you're getting on your money, and how long it would take for dividends to start compounding into something bigger. And not only that, we're also going to talk about the traps dividend beginners fall into, the mindset you need to grow your portfolio over time, and how reinvesting even tiny dividends can snowball in a way that feels ridiculous when you see the numbers play out. But first, we need to understand something important that most people misunderstand. $5,000 is not meant to make you rich. $5,000 is meant to get you in the game. Because once you're in the game, the compounding begins whether you feel it or not. The dividends start dropping into your account every quarter, every month, and every year. Suddenly you wake up and realize you've bought your first share of a company that's been paying dividends longer than you've been alive. That alone is crazy to think about. You've moved from, I want to invest someday, to I'm part owner of real businesses that pay me. And that psychological flip is way more important than the amount you start with. So let's get into the first part. The dividend portfolio itself. And remember, this is designed for stability. A portfolio that pays you even during market crashes, economic chaos, and whatever else the world throws at you. For $5,000, we need to focus on three categories: high-yield monthly payers, ultra-reliable quarterly payers, and long-term dividend growers. By mixing all three, you get stability, cash flow, and future growth, because a lot of people chase only high yield, and that's where they blow up their accounts. High yield is not bad, but high yield without quality is financial suicide. So we're going to be smart about it. Let's start with monthly payers. The reason I love them is simple. They give you immediate feedback. If you're a beginner and you invest in a quarterly payer, you have to wait 3 months to feel anything. But with a monthly payer, you literally see cash every 30 days, and that keeps you motivated. And the truth is, dividend investing is way more psychological than mathematical. For example, imagine allocating around $1,000, 20% of your portfolio, to a monthly payer like Realty Income. Realty Income pays around a 4.5% yield, and they've been paying monthly dividends for decades. With $1,000 invested, you're looking at roughly $45 per year, which comes out to around $3.75 every month. Is that life-changing money? Absolutely not, but is it the first brick in the building? Yes, and that's the part people miss. Everyone wants $500 per month, but no one wants to start with $3 per month. Next, we combine that with a higher yield monthly payer like a covered call ETF, something offering around an 8 to 10% yield. Let's say you take another $1,000 into something like that. Now suddenly, instead of getting $45 per year, you might get $80 to $100 per year. That's almost $8 per month from just that one position. And again, not crazy money, but it adds up when we layer the rest of the portfolio. But now we move into the core of the portfolio, the reliable giants. Companies that don't just pay dividends, they increase them almost every year. Think about companies like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, or McDonald's. These companies are the reason dividend investing works long-term. They don't give you giant yields today, but they reliably grow those yields year after year. If you invest $1,000 into a company that grows dividends at 6% per year, your yield on cost doubles over time. So instead of earning $30 per year today, in 10 or 15 years, you might be earning $60 or $70 without adding new money. So let's place $2,000 into this category. That could give you somewhere around $60 to $80 per year combined. And while that sounds small, the real magic is the growth. If you reinvest absolutely every dividend, the portfolio doesn't just grow, it accelerates. And that acceleration is what people underestimate. It's incredibly slow at first, then suddenly you blink and the numbers start jumping faster than before. Now for the last $1,000, we're going to pick a mix of dividend ETFs. These are perfect for beginners because you don't need to choose individual stocks, you get instant diversification, and the yields are usually in the 2 to 4% range. But the best part is that ETFs smooth out volatility, something every small portfolio needs. If a single stock cuts its dividend, your entire plan shouldn't collapse. So with the combination of monthly payers, reliable quarterly payers, and ETFs, your full $5,000 portfolio pays you around $180 to $220 per year. That's roughly $15 to $20 per month. Now here's where the average person rolls their eyes. $20? That's nothing. And they don't realize that every single dividend millionaire started there. They don't realize that the number doesn't matter. The system does. Because once you have the system in place, you can scale it forever. If you've built a portfolio that pays you $20 per month, all you have to do is multiply that by 10, and suddenly you're at $200 per month. Multiply by 50 and you're at $1,000 per month. Multiply by 100 and you're at financial freedom. Most people dream of $100,000 before they invest anything. But smart investors, they start with what they have and then they build. So at this point, you know what the portfolio pays, but how long until this becomes meaningful? Let's talk about reinvesting, because this is the part that turns that $15 or $20 per month into something powerful. Every time your portfolio pays you, you buy a tiny fraction of a new share. That fractional piece now earns dividends too. And if you do this long enough, the compounding becomes visible. After a year of reinvesting, your dividend payouts might rise from $20 per month to $21 or $22. Not a big jump, but it's a sign that the system is working. After 5 years, maybe it's $25. After 10 years, maybe it's $40 or $50. And as long as you keep investing into the portfolio regularly, even small amounts like $50 or $100 per month, the snowball becomes unbelievable. And yes, some people will still say it's too slow, but that's because they don't understand what investing actually is. Investing is not about speed, it's about inevitability. You keep investing and eventually you win because the math bends in your favor. Now let's get into the part people always ask. Can you live off dividends with just $5,000? No, obviously not, but that is not the point. The point is, can you build a habit and a system with $5,000 that eventually leads to a dividend-paying machine? Absolutely yes, because once you see that your money literally prints money, even if it's just a few cents, something changes inside you. You stop caring about trying to time the market. You stop panicking when prices fall. Instead, you get excited because your dividends buy more shares when prices drop. Suddenly, a red market becomes a blessing instead of a nightmare. That's the mindset shift that creates wealth. Now, before we move into the next section, let me hit you with something important. Dividend investors don't get rich fast, but they do get rich reliably. Because dividends force discipline, they force consistency. They force long-term thinking. Growth investors are always stressed, always wondering if they picked the right stock. But dividend investors, they get paid no matter what the price does. And that stability is priceless. But let's go deeper. I want to show you something most videos never talk about. What happens when you combine dividends with regular contributions? If you invest $5,000 today and then add just $100 per month, your portfolio after 10 years will be around $25,000 to $30,000 depending on market returns. And if that portfolio yields 3% on average, that's $750 to $900 per year in dividends. That's $60 to $75 per month. Now, you're not just buying small things, you're covering real bills. A phone bill, a grocery bill, a utility. And that's where the portfolio starts feeling real. And if you keep going even longer, the numbers go insane. After 15 years, with contributions and reinvestment, you might cross $50,000. That's $1,500 per year in dividends, over $100 per month. And at that point, your portfolio is basically paying for itself. It's no longer something you manually babysit, it becomes a machine. But let's bring this back to the $5,000 starting point. What does the monthly breakdown actually look like? If you have a combination of monthly payers and quarterly payers, your average month will look something like this. Your monthly payers drop $10 to $12. One quarterly payer will fill in another $3 to $5. Another quarterly payer adds $3 or $4. An ETF adds $1 or $2. And that's how you end up at $15 to $20 per month. The real trick is balancing the portfolio so the payments feel consistent. Because nothing motivates you more than seeing those payouts come in month after month. Now, let me tell you something else most beginners don't realize. Dividends are not guaranteed. A company can cut them at any time. That's why we balance the portfolio. That's why we choose reliable dividend aristocrats. That's why we use ETFs for stability. The goal isn't to chase insane yields. The goal is to create a system that keeps paying even when one position fails. Compounding doesn't care how much you start with. It only cares when you start. So build the portfolio, reinvest the dividends, be consistent, and watch what happens.